Welcome to News Alert on Capital Television.
Since its inception in 2001, the services of the Metro Mass Transit Company has brought relief to many Ghanaians. The introduction of the Metro buses has helped in bridging the transport deficit in the country. Aside the moderate fees charged by the company, the decision to ferry travelers to the hinterlands has been hailed. Despite the good services the company provides, delays in travel time, lack of sheds to accommodate travelers, and ticket racketeering are some of the concerns raised by some travelers. The Traffic Operations Manager of Metro Mass Transit Company, Frank Yeboah Quarantine, however, says the concerns of commuters who use the company's services are taken seriously, indicating that a toll-free number is available at the back of the buses, so aggrieved persons call for their concerns to be addressed.
Yes, as a human institution, obviously, we'll have our challenges. And some of these challenges, obviously, people do complain. And in order to tabulate and address and get back to them as quickly, we have instituted 0800 10400 as a free tool where somebody 24 hours takes the complaints, and as soon as possible we address them. And you could realize that along the main roads, the major roads, as much as possible, anytime there's a breakdown, the team that are dispatched to attend to.
Capital TV visited the Metro Mass Transit Terminal at Kaneshie to gauge the experiences of some commuters.
Hana yabano sensuruta yejirem ewiareba yejirem yenya baby mpo yentrase ona na oha adwen apart from one dam de oyade
ye batna afo basin ono atwan basin ono nya aza unya because ye be gina ho mriwo wo mketese wo oba be gina ho dama oya hwoto nti yenya bench bi aye ba na ya atena do na chede ya ye twa tikiti.
The back gate, normally they pack the place with a lot of goods, so it's difficult necessarily when you are in the back gate unless you come to the front before you get there, or if you want to go and wee, though it's difficult, breaking to. So one thing that they should not put a lot of luggage at the back gate there, so that those at the back, they will have, especially when there's emergency, they'll be able to go out without any hindrance.
We have to spend a lot of time here before we move, and right now I'm waited for in Takoradi, but I have to wait till they decide to move on, to start. That's the main point that I can mention.
The country has experienced road accidents in recent times, often with fatal outcomes. The presence of road signs, a key component in ensuring safety on our roads, is limited, whilst drivers who ought to comprehend the signs are often ignorant. The Dansoman Divisional Officer of MTTU, DSP Kwame Safu-Ado, explained that before a driver obtains a license, he must know the various road signs, but some of the drivers acquire their license through dubious means. He said the MTTU organizes training workshops and holds their best to educate drivers who are not familiar with road signs. According to DSP Safu-Ado, drivers who break traffic rules or flout road signs are penalized when arrested. Capital News hit the streets to ask drivers which signs they are conversant with.
One of the first things they do is to give you that book, that of the road signs as in general, for you to study. You will get it, then you are given a temporary, that's learner's driver's license, which is 3 months period duration, with a view that within that 3 months you'll be able to study them and be conversant with those signs. Then after the 3 months you go and sit for an exam. If you qualify, you are given your driver's license. But you and I know that Ghanaian in general, we like cutting corners. So in most cases, some go through other means to get a license without even getting the road sign handbook. So for me, I feel some of them may be aware of the road signs, others may not be aware. In that sense, the police is mandated to enforce the law. By enforcing, you also try and educate. It's not always on the prosecution. So wherever somebody infringes upon any of the acts by way of the road signs, you bring the person to the office, you process him or her initially. But if you find out during interrogation that he's not even conversant, there are two things. Either you organize some form of a training program for them, depending upon the numbers, or if the case is so bad, you put the person before the court for the court to decide on the fate of the person.
Oh, so kwaji driving licenses are at least you be sure and I'm out driving licenses. That would even here no parking. Round one here, no stopping.
Man called driving school and son of me who goes but me driver no. I said me who baby udru I say where you say the road sign there meaning call my driver chair. He say oh call on road now udru baby to say ya road sign by style likes baby say I say by bridge ya say some style be say say I hold your road sign I have bridge now the way driver won't say do out to boise we want to bridge so.
Fishermen at Jamestown have expressed reservation about the dumping of refuse into the sea by residents. The fisher folks say, despite the cholera outbreak which has claimed numerous lives, some residents still dump refuse there to the detriment of the rest of them. As at the time Capital TV News visited the coastal town of Jamestown, most of the fishermen and fishmongers were seen busily conducting their businesses, irrespective of the filth around. Children were also spotted playing in the field. Some of the fishermen are therefore calling on the Metropolitan Assembly to provide them with waste bins to rid the area of filth.
Yeah, can it be I won't show now? Come in, would you be sure no Nuena toilet, make all the sugar or toilet, or not toilet me. Come on, show me for no yagu, no, I tell them if you are part I'm glad no can be a fine. A fine crowd, no face no way. Last year, before you go, I know a sharp picture to win sharp picture. A shabby basse, figure over now, abo. Near Nam, near draw, near bushiti.
Na apuran ahai na se chede ebi mo ya bola bi fit so mo ana wode adina wode baha mo na so wode baha ebi wode baba na da asa na so wode mpemfuru so won so ye container bi a or bi a wode besia mo se obi kita bola bi a obotum da adina ne edo egum na so ebi ye ha mo dam nsa adama adu how na ade adina ade baha mo Ebeketebia abada da bashe punumu. Nsi adichi adese ya punani ya wae poto.
A doctor at the Noguchi Memorial Institute, Kofi Boni, has disclosed to Capital News that although consumers are ignorant about the health dangers of having food in polythene bags, the practice can be deadly. He explained that although packaging meals such as waakye and rice cannot always be in cola leaves, should the need arise, white and black polythene bags should be used sparingly, especially when hot food is involved. According to Dr. Boni, polythenes contain polyvinyl chloride and polystyrene, which break into food, resulting in health complications. Capital News engaged food vendors and consumers to ascertain their take on the matter.
Usually when people are using the leaves, they use water to rinse it before they put the food inside. Well, it's not the best, but washing it alone, if there are some germs on it, you get rid of them. You may not get rid of all of them, but you reduce the germ load. Then for the containers that you use in putting food in it, if it is washed before they put food in it, just wash it with water, rinse it with water before you put it. That one, if there is some germ or there are some germs in it, you reduce the load before you put the food in it.
I'll clean this thing. After that, then I put the food inside before I put it for fire. If you finish after for the fire, then you put it for another rubber before I come and sew it. Because this thing, leaf is the medicine. Then maybe if you're someone you are sick, You take like this thing or this one, then you put it for fire. Then you give a water, more water. If you burn, then you drink small. Then even though it's fever, it's okay for fever.
Bunch of rubber. Almost on per fever, no.
Early marriages occurs when one or both spouses are below the age of 18. This is because, given their young age, they can rarely make a free and informed decision about their marriage partner, the timing or the implications of this binding commitment. In Ghana, the practice predominantly impacts girls. According to statistics, Ghana has one of the highest child marriage prevalence rates in the world. On average, 1 out of 4 girls will be married before their 18th birthday. In 2008, about 25% of the women aged 20 to 24 were married or in union before age 18. Health experts say child brides can die from pregnancy-related complications because they do not have fully developed bodies to carry a baby, which can result in obstructed labor and obstetric fistula. They can also contract sexually transmitted infections or HIV because of their greater sexual exposure, often with much older persons. A cross-section of the public shared their views on this matter. We spoke with Mr. Robert A. Amoafo, Executive Director, Human Rights Advocacy Center, who says early marriage violates the rights of the child. While child marriage is common in Ghana, prevalence is highest in Upper East, 50%, followed by Upper West, 39%, Northern, 36%, Volta and Brong-Ahafo, 33%, Central, 28%, Ashanti, 23%, Western and Eastern, 18%, and Greater Accra, 11%. Once girls in Ghana are married, only a few of them use contraception in spite of their needs to space their childbearing time.
A person's dignity is being infringed upon. The main thing that makes a human being exist and feel like he's having charge of his life, there's a dignity has been infringed upon. The person doesn't have the freedom to choose who or what he wants to marry and when he wants to marry, because he's being forced to marry at a particular point in time. The person's right to choose, right, freedom of expression has been infringed upon, because he or she can't express himself to choose who he wants or who she wants. Also, for children, if a child is forced to marry, the child's right as a child has been abused, because one, a child cannot consent, a child cannot take the responsibilities that come with marriage. Also, the child's opportunities are taken away, because once the person is put into an adult position, all the well-being, according to the Children's Act, a child is supposed to have time to play, time to grow, time to learn, and all of that. Once the child gets into marriage, all these opportunities are taken out, and therefore the child is not able to grow and learn and play, because he's put into an adult role where the person cannot feel free to be who he or she wants to be.
One was Kolabi was an Edima in 220 years, no about Kokra, Abruantem. And to say, O Maja, sir, didn't to Amador Mamma, Mawariantam, Obuo, now Sword, or Nini and a memma, Samian de. And to my men in the Papa whose son, no more denied it. I'm a bear, said the Bear, Mombe Ubasabasa with fear. Way Papanco, and Mana. And as a seas will be also to me, say, fear way, maybe Rama, a muye, skawum at the papa womb, and to a person piano banana banady, and rest I fear.
Ingesting over-the-counter drugs and herbal concoctions without a doctor's prescription has dire consequences, often leading to health complications and death. Some individuals the news team spoke with on the matter indicated that to have a prescription for drugs means a visit to the doctor or physician, which involves bureaucracy and money paying. Hence, to avoid a further drain on their pockets, they try medications which has in the past brought relief to a friend or relative. Others contend in an internet age, such as the one we are in, why bother visit a clinic or hospital when one could easily check the internet to find one's affliction and cure? Pharmacist Ebenezer Akwa says, while using over-the-counter medications could save time and money, when it comes to healthcare, shortcuts can prove costly. He further entreated the public to desist from such acts, as it could be the difference between life and death.
It would have been better if the patient or the client had gone to the hospital direct to speak to the doctor. The whole thing is that some of the drugs, if you are asthmatic, you are not supposed to take them. If you are also a patient, you are not supposed to take them. Sometimes you, the patient, you don't know that the conditions you are having, you are not supposed to take these drugs. So you go and take those drugs, then you make the condition very complicated. So it is very advisable that if there are such problems, we visit the hospitals before we see our pharmacist.
I do buy drugs on my own because sometimes with this internet and then this Google, I do search for a disease and they tell me what to buy, then I go straight to buy. Pharmacy
is easily accessible. To me, that's how we were trained to be. Like, even if you are having stomach ache, your mom will be like, go and buy Traslicate. If you are running, they'll even put syringe at your. So that's how we were trained.
Hospital one a delay. Doctors need time. The show. And they told me no sika. I the hospital no a cost. And until I one no pharmacy. Actually, man, no more a show.
If you're me, anyhow, shino. If you like a pharmacy to find him or easy. She be a get there to lie. Be going by a back doctor bed.
At times, depend on so be or niska. The sports one, I know been so aware. Ebia or koto for the meantime. As I be a hospital, say depending.